States bear the full cost of paying the first 26 weeks of unemployment benefits because of the economic downturn has been so long, and the recession has been the longest since the Great Depression, and because a number of states did not amass adequate trust fund reserves before the recession hit. The state unemployment insurance trust funds have been depleted in 34 states. To continue paying unemployment benefits, these states must borrow from the federal Unemployment Insurance Trust Fund. To date, these 34 states have borrowed a total of $41 billion. With unemployment remaining near double-digit levels and projected to remain high for a considerable period to come, the Labor Department has projected that 40 states ultimately will have to borrow, with the total amount borrowed reaching $90 billion by 2013. Recognizing the adverse economic effects of raising taxes on employers, federal lawmakers enacted a moratorium on these interest payments until December 31, 2010, as part of last year's recovery legislation. A moratorium is a suspension of an ongoing or planned activity. The moratorium now needs to be extended. State obligations to begin repaying the loan principal pose an even more serious problem over time, because under current law, 3 states will have payments due this fall, and the loans of 23 more states will come due in 2011. This presents multiple problems because employers in states that do not repay the full amount of their loans by these deadlines will be required to pay steadily increasing amounts of federal unemployment insurance tax each year. States may enact large increases in employer taxes before the economy is ready to absorb them in order to repay some or all of the loans, but in either case they are likely to be severe cutbacks in unemployment insurance benefits and eligibility as states come under pressure to slash their ongoing unemployment insurance costs in order to limit the increases in employer taxes. If the moratorium expires as scheduled at the end of the year, states will have to pay approximately $2 billion in interest during federal fiscal year 2011, rising to $3 billion in fiscal year 2012. This is according to the Labor Department estimates. Current projections suggest that states will face deficits in their operating budgets for state fiscal year 2011, which ends on June 30th, 2011 in most states. And this will be of more than $140 billion, even after taking the fiscal relief provisions of the Recovery Act into account. The U.S. House of Representatives approved another extension of unemployment benefits on this past Friday, but only through November 30th of 2010. This widening of the safety net could be the last, as lawmakers grow uneasy over the costs of what is looking to some like an unfunded welfare benefit. So, do you get what's happening here? The states owe the federal government more than $140 billion. They can't pay. The federal government wants their money, that they in turn owe to the givers of money, the Federal Reserve. So the federal government now says to the states and businesses, we're taking over and all will receive direct pay from us, and we will withhold from your pay a percentage of every paycheck to pay back the debt. Everyone now works for the federal government, and they essentially work for the little known about private bank called the Federal Reserve. It's practically like this already, but now it's on paper to be seen. You're officially a slave. If you want to eat, have clothes, or place to live, then you will abide by their rules. So if you work for Burger King, you would now really work for the federal government, or should I say the Federal Reserve. No matter where you work, it'll be for the Federal Reserve. But hell, we're already doing that. I have researched material about the Federal Reserve for 2 weeks prior to this video, and it has finally become very clear to me that I will find out nothing about the Federal Reserve. Have you ever considered how insane it is that the Federal Reserve System virtually controls the nation's monetary system, yet it is accountable to no one? It has no budget, it is subject to no audit, and no congressional committee knows of or can supervise its operations. It is very clear to me that this is a small group. The Federal Reserve, they're scared. You know why? Because we outnumber the small handful of them. When we finally get enough and all in agreement say stop, they won't be able to prevent it. The moment is here to support an equal money system for all from birth to death, so all can practically care for themselves. This is the place to begin in facing ourselves within self-forgiveness and self-honesty. We agreed on the current money system design, and we can demand it be stopped and an equal money system be implemented. And not a moment too soon, as the world systems are crashing or destroying nature due to money and greed, and make no mistake about it, we will pay. In Washington, D.C., October 29, 2007, the American Bar Association released the findings from its 3-year study and passed a death penalty moratorium, implicating that there was too many flaws in the system, in the death penalty system. I say a moratorium to end the current money system needs to begin, because the number of cases proving our current money system is not working can be told for months. So support an equal money system. Stand up.